Welcome back. So, Mr. Nnaji, we're trying to land on your thoughts there.
In the first instance, I've expressed the issue in my first comment. The aspect of ranching. You see, that is the best way to go. But because cow rearing, cropping or whatever is a private, private business. If you want to ranch, like if you go to other countries where businesses about ranching is done, it's not by government. And the way it is being proposed here, it appears that the federal government was going to invest heavily, and it is not on the card that people will subscribe to it as a business. You open ranch, acquire people's land, open ranch, and put people on it to do their own private business, just like you have most of the places that do agriculture don't have irrigation facilities. But some other areas have plenitude of such facilities, and so they can grow crops and do things year-round. You understand? So if you are leveraging any part of a business, make it universal, because nobody is less needful of those facilities than the other, because they are in the same business. So ranching, that is why many places are saying no to that type of ranching. If you want to do business, do business. Otherwise, the luxury bus owners from my own area, wherever they come, the federal government must acquire land and give them to be parking their luxury buses. Just like we have trailers parking on the streets of Lagos, and it appears they are constituting a problem. If luxury buses were parked there by 100, I can tell you that maybe about 200,000 naira each of them. So let us treat citizens. Equality is equity. Equality is equity.
Indeed, indeed. But Chima, some people have likened this to the government building an airport.
It's not the same thing.
The airlines are private businessmen.
Airport is a public place. Then airlines are private businesses.
Hang on.
They pay.
Yeah.
But so that's not the proposition.
Same can apply. The government will build the ranches, and then anybody who wants to come and ranch their herds there will pay to use the facilities.
That is ideally, Alera, ideally, but that's not what we have been communicated to. We are not getting that communication.
Mr. Etok,
it's not done in French. We're hearing English.
Let me say 1, 2, 3 things. Number one is that I believe that the Fulanis, Nigeria Fulanis, are entitled to a decent livelihood and support. I believe that. And the government should spare nothing to give them that.
Because they are Nigerians.
Because they are Nigerians. That's the fundamental.
Like any other Nigerian.
Like any other Nigerian.
Yes,
on the basis of that, one thing is that we must, as a country, know that what is not progressive should stop. Female genital mutilation has been the custom of many people for years. But the whole world knows that that is not right. So they say that should stop. It does not make sense. It is very stupid. And I've not seen any member of the president's family or El Rufai, who is a Fulani person, being nomadic, trekking. They are all in school. The children are being brought up properly. We can't have a fellow Nigerian child, like my child, trekking from Sokoto to Calabar through the forest because that's the custom and tradition.
Herding cows.
I believe that my solution number one is let the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria take Sambisa forest that is 2 times the size of the southeast and put in, through appropriation, all the necessary infrastructure to settle the cattle rearers in that location, bring up their children in a decent school, give them their means of livelihood, and then they will be able to develop like proper Nigerians, and we won't have problem. God has given us that natural space. And you know, it was Obama's aide that said we do not lose the advantages, putting in my own way, of a good crisis. We've had a crisis of Sambisa being seen as evil. Let Sambisa be translated to to become the hub, something really good. That is number one. Number two, there were people in the Niger Delta that were fishermen. That's all they've done all their lives. That's all they know. They live by the water. But because of the exploration of the oil, everything got polluted. They could no longer be farming, fishing rather. We can't say take them to the Chad Basin and relocate them there. It doesn't make sense. So we now told our people, the fishes are no longer there. Can you try and come into the farm and see how you can farm? We talked to our people. And the federal government came and tried to clean up the waters, which is good. Do you understand me? So let's live a certain lifestyle that is progressive and takes care of the human beings as citizens of this country that are catered for. I don't really think if a Fulani man says, no, I must go to Akwa Ibom, I must go, that's a different thing. But if he says, I need a decent living supported by the federal government, I will say, let the National Assembly dedicate special funds like they did for NDDC in the Niger Delta or Niger Delta Ministry. Let them dedicate a special fund for the resettlement of the herdsmen in the Sambisa forest, so that we stop all this issue of them. If it is a different agenda, you want to dip the Quran to the sea, that's a different thing. Anything you see, you take. But if it is a decent livelihood, I'm in support of that, and I would run a one-man campaign so that my little brothers in the north who are Fulanis are given the sort of life that my children enjoy. That's my submission.
Now, John, someone has said that government support is required to sort out this problem, because cattle rearing is actually something that we can make a lot of money out of. We can export our beef, because we're told that our beef is among the tastiest in the world. So why can't we grow this thing to such a level as we can begin to export our beef?
You see, it's always the same problem. Government divests, and then government goes back into businesses meant for private individuals. Now, some years back, privatization was the watchword. Properties were sold, assets were sold, Nigeria Airways was sold, everything was sold. The problem we are trying to create all over again is government trying to take over cattle rearing as a business. It is not the business of government to, provide huge funds for private practitioners of the business.
But they do in agriculture.
No. It's a different thing entirely. What they are,
how different?
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. First of all, the start-off point will be federal government wants to acquire vast land in different states of the federation. Acquisition at federal level. It means federal government will come onto the land of people who probably cannot live. Before you bring strangers onto somebody's land, it has to be voluntary. They have to agree. They have to accept. Before you site or locate businesses in a particular environment, they have to accept.
Yes.
For instance,
agree on compensation and everything.
Okay. For instance, let me give you an instance. If, for instance, there are those who operate piggeries, pig farmers in this part of the country, if they decide that, okay, the environment here is not conducive for pig farming, and they say, okay, we want to go, it's only in the north that we want to locate our businesses, there's going to be strife. Because the average northern man, by reason of religion or otherwise, will say, no, those animals are dirty. I don't want them here.
Anywhere near me.
Exactly. Now, it's the same thing here. You want to take somebody who is rearing cattle to the Niger Delta, which is already volatile. They are disgruntled, they are not happy. They've taken away their sources of livelihood, fishing. You now want to bring cattle down to their own territory and make them concede land for peanuts. Now, so that is the situation. They want to acquiring land and then giving it to some other